Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another, Ms. Lindekrantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Lindekrantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Lindekrantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Lindekrantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Lindekrantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Lindekrantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
To help you understand how dangerous narcotics operations have persisted despite decades of bold efforts to completely mishandle the problem, we now present The Onion Explained, the drug trade. The cartels remain as powerful as ever. Experts say that the only solution is to eliminate the demand for illegal drugs by instead getting buzzed on common household products, like cough syrup. Not only do items such as nail polish remover and model glue get you ripped if you really breathe that in, they also help shrink the market for cartel drugs. Cartels would stand to lose billions if even a third of the people using their cocaine or methamphetamine instead huffed Freon, which will knock you right on your ass just as quickly. It's easy to get by cracking open an air conditioner. If enough people realize that keyboard cleaner will put you in a insane trance and that it's just sitting there right now in your desk drawer, the costly war on drugs could very well end tomorrow.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and of course you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio with you here tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
So I just got back from a crypto art conference in Austin, Texas, which was very nice. Nice to get away.
So crypto art.
Yeah.
That term brings a lot of things into my mind. Either the person was selling art and only accepting cryptocurrency, or all of the art was cryptocurrency themed, or they used old physical bitcoins to make art.
Or it could have been all of the above as well. I mean, because there's a lot of different things out there that artists can do. But it was, a first-time event that happened in Austin, and I hope that it will happen again. It wasn't completely focused on crypto, but there were a lot of people there who were definitely in the crypto scene. Although there were also people there who were brand new to the world of cryptocurrency and really didn't know anything about it. They just showed up for a party, right? Because there was, DJs and lights in the middle of the nighttime on a relatively busy area.
So what was the
Austin.
DJ playing songs that go?
Yep, that tends to be what DJs play. although I suppose there are some exceptions to that rule. Anyway, great event. It was called Exist Festival, and I don't know if there are any pictures up yet because I haven't sent them because I was taking a bunch of pictures of the event. But, of course, a lot of things going on in the world of cryptocurrency, new people finding out about it all the time. And one of the big fears around cryptocurrencies are what level of involvement is the government going to have in your life if you get involved in cryptocurrency. Some people have been arrested for selling cryptocurrencies on sites like localbitcoins.com. Now, were those people selling to undercover agents who were saying things about, I'm going to buy drugs if you sell me this cryptocurrency? Will you sell it to me? And then if they do, then
I don't care what you're going to do with them.
That could be a really bad thing. So we don't know a lot of the details around these cases that have been made, but certainly there's fear. In fact, this was the reason I'm bringing this up is because there was a conversation we had last or the night of this party with somebody who was brand new to cryptocurrency, and this issue came up, and I was actually talking to a cab driver or an Uber driver about cryptocurrency, and he also brought up some of the fears, right, that you hear about in mainstream media surrounding cryptocurrency. There's terrorists that are using cryptocurrency.
Here's breaking news. Terrorists use U.S. dollars.
That's right. And that's
terrorists use euros. Terrorists use Swiss francs.
Right.
Terrorists use cars.
If there is a form of currency that is valuable, there's a chance, and fungible and usable, there's a chance that terrorists are going to use it.
Terrorists breathe air. You breathe air too. Do you really want to breathe air? Because the terrorists breathe air. You don't want to be considered a terrorist, do you?
Yeah, so it's important to be able to address objections like that. But another concern about cryptocurrency is, well, is the government going to regulate it? And the good news about Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies is they are decentralized, so the government can't get their hands on it easily. They can't shut it down because it's distributed in thousands of locations all around the world.
Right.
This is one of the great things about cryptocurrency, and one of the reasons why many of them are so very valuable. Like Bitcoin today is flirting at around $9,000 US dollars. It's been below it. It's been above it just within the last 24 hours. So there's a lot of value. There's a lot of money that has been rolled into this, which of course is why governments are taking notice.
Right.
Not only, because if it was just like a proof of concept where we've got this geeky thing called Bitcoin and, oh, look, you can transfer this value back and forth, but it never really became worth anything, the government probably wouldn't care. But because it's $9,000 per Bitcoin right now, and there are 16 million plus Bitcoins out there, there are, $200 billion worth or something. I don't know what the current market cap is on Bitcoin, but coinmarketcap.com, last I looked, had over $350 billion. That was the total value of all the cryptocurrencies in the world combined, and Bitcoin is usually the plural, or I guess a good chunk of that, not quite a majority of that, but a good chunk.
So CoinMarketCap right now showing market cap at the very top, 371,885,561,846.
We didn't need the whole.
Bitcoin has 41.8% of that.
Yeah.
So,
and
math.
Bitcoin used to have like 90%, but it took a dip in the last year.
At one time, Bitcoin had 100% because there weren't any others.
That's true, and now there are over 1,500 other cryptocurrencies, and again, that was like a few months ago.
That's not counting all of the tokens.
Correct. So, yeah, it's a very complicated, deep world, but the government does want to get their hands on as much of that money as possible, and we've started to see them, for instance, the IRS went after Coinbase last year and demanded that Coinbase turn over all their customer information. Coinbase fought it and only has to turn over like 13,000 or 14,000 customer records instead of millions of them, which they've got quite a few customers there.
Right.
Coinbase is one of the big ways that a lot of newbies will get into to the world of purchasing and holding and selling crypto and even trading cryptocurrencies. But now, according to Bitcoin.com, actually news.bitcoin.com, courts, financial regulators, legislators, and governments around the world are struggling to fit Bitcoin into their existing frameworks. Different legal definitions for the disruptive innovation that is cryptocurrencies can have profound ramifications for the instruments in each jurisdiction, such as what agencies will regulate them, under what laws, and how users will be taxed. if at all. A new ruling by a U.S. federal court now tilts the scales towards viewing them as commodities, but that is not likely to be the final word, as American lawmakers have yet to have their say. Now, previously, there were a couple of different opinions, if I recall correctly, within the federal government. There was it the IRS that recognized Bitcoin as a commodity and FinCEN that called it a currency?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so now you've got, and I don't know if this is the first federal court decision on this. I suspect it may not be. There may be conflicting court decisions. But if you know more and you want to share with us, our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Bitcoin, like cryptocurrencies, can be regulated by the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, according to U.S. District Judge Jack Weinstein on Thursday. That federal judge upheld the CFTC's position from 2015, saying that cryptocurrencies are commodities. And the plain meaning of the word commodity, and the agency had broad leeway to interpret the law regulating commodities. The ruling came about because the court had to decide whether the CFTC was able to prosecute an alleged fraudster who promised clients cryptocurrency trading advice but never delivered. This person was allegedly Patrick McDonnell from his company CoinDrop Markets. By allowing the agency to continue with the case, the judge set a precedent for all other legal cases where defense lawyers might have argued that the CFTC has no standing because Bitcoin is not a commodity. So basically, the purpose of this case is to allow a prosecution to move forward, and they have now deemed Bitcoin as a commodity. Now, Melanie,
at least in the specifics of this case. There was also a statement from the SEC back in December saying that cryptocurrencies could be considered a security under certain circumstances.
If it was, issued privately by a company?
No, if there's an ICO and a smart contract and there's a legal definition of what is a security.
Doesn't a security tie you into the success or failure of an organization of some sort? I don't know. Melanie, you're a professional accountant by trade. You've got a website we'll talk about a little bit later on, but do you know anything about what a security is?
Generally speaking, they're like stocks and bonds. I wouldn't say that I have anything that would be precise enough to be a solid legal definition.
It has something to do with, like, you as an investor speculating on whether or not a organization, a company generally, will succeed, right? So, like, when you buy a stock, you're betting that the company is going to...
Practically, that's the case. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the legal definition exactly is.
Okay, the toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. As I understand it, there are sometimes, like, maybe promises involved from the company. I'm not sure. If you know more, though, 855-450, free like freedom. We'll talk more about what's going on with the government and Bitcoin. It's Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1. Plus, an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. The Skype username is lrn.fm. Also, you can join us on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm, where you can jump into the on-air call-in line room there and talk to us and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. The us is Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
So we've been talking about cryptocurrency to start things out here tonight, specifically the federal court ruling. Apparently, a federal court recently ruling that Bitcoin is a commodity. And the purpose of the ruling was so that the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, could move ahead with a prosecution against an alleged fraudster, somebody who promised cryptocurrency trading advice but never delivered on that promise. And they wouldn't be able to go after this person if cryptocurrency wasn't considered.
So I feel like I should point out two things right now. So first of all, common law, which is what case law is, or case law, whatever you want to call it, is kind of a precarious thing to rely on in the first place. But you definitely can't rely on it until you have a Supreme Court ruling. So this ruling means nothing to anybody who thinks they're going to make decisions based off of it. If you live in that district, that same district will probably rule the same way, but there's really...
Other districts could rule differently.
Other districts can rule however they want. And even in that district...
Other judges in that district
are not bound by that until it's a Supreme Court case, and then they're going to do what they want anyway. But also... unless you read the case itself, not the summary of the case from a journalist. If you just want general information on what's going on, a summary from a journalist is good enough. Mm-hmm. If you think you're going to go do something based on this, you need to read the case and understand it. And those are two different levels of...
The average person is... I can kind of read some legalese, but that's just because I've tried hard over the years to read through it, but it is difficult to read. It's hard to understand because the words that they use are legalese, so they look like English.
You're not reading a paper in English.
Right, but they can have completely different definitions.
And then a lot of times they have so many footnotes that you've got to stop and read the footnote and then go back and then hope that you can remember where you were, and then they cite themselves numerous times.
They do point out here in the story from news.bitcoin.com, which, by the way, is a great site to go and get headlines for all across the Bitcoin ecosystem from around the world. Very useful information there, frequently over at news.bitcoin.com. But the development, they say, is unlikely to deter other American regulatory agencies from also asserting their jurisdiction over the ecosystem. Ropes and Gray Investment Management Counsel Ed Baer explained, quote, while District Judge Weinstein's ruling confirms the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission's prior determination that virtual currencies like Bitcoin are commodities subject to regulation by the CFTC, says here that statements by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, their chairman, suggest that various types of these cryptocurrencies, especially coins issued in initial coin offerings, may be securities subject to regulation by the SEC. Now, that gets into the question of what is a security token versus what they call a utility token. And so these are the ICOs, which for listeners that are new to this terminology, you've heard of an IPO perhaps before in the stock market world, where there's this initial public offering of a stock at a certain price, and people get in the hopes, of course, that the price is going to go up. There's sort of a similar thing in the world of cryptocurrency. In this case, the ICO, the initial coin offering, is a way for a company or a group of people to pitch an idea to people, or a company, pitching the growth of their company to people, saying, hey, if you buy in with your cryptocurrency, we're going to give you some of our company tokens. And it could be, Melanie token if you wanted to have an ICO for Melanie's tax preparation service, which we can, again, get into a little bit later on what that is. But if you wanted people to, fund your ideas for expansion, Melanie, you could offer an ICO, and then you would decide whether or not to offer it as a security token or a utility token, meaning that the security would be considered regulated and the utility token wouldn't be. What's the difference, though? According to strategiccoin.com, the utility tokens, also called user tokens or app coins, represent future access to a company's product or service. The defining characteristic of utility tokens is they aren't designed as investments. If properly structured, this feature exempts utility tokens from federal laws governing securities.
Right. So my understanding about, and again, this is my understanding, not necessarily any kind of legal advice or anything else, but my understanding of a security token, if you will, is that there's some kind of smart contract and a plan of, we are going to provide X platform for Y to happen. Whereas the utility token is, hey, here's Potcoin that we're offering as an ICO, and we just think it would be really cool if cannabis businesses used it. But they're not promising to deliver anything.
Well, Potcoin is, I think, its own cryptocurrency, but you're trying to give an example of what a utility token is. Well, let me read their definition of a security token. If a crypto token derives its value from an external tradable asset, it's classified as a security token and becomes subject to federal securities regulations. Failure to abide by these regulations could result in costly penalties and threaten to derail a project. But if a startup meets all of its regulatory obligations, the security token classification creates the potential for a wide variety of applications, the most promising of which is the ability to issue tokens that represent shares of company stock. So the difference between a utility token and a security token is the security token could represent your ownership of a company or a piece of a company or whatever.
So a DAO.
A DAO meaning a decentralized autonomous organization?
Right. So if you own, tokens of a DAO, then you're part owner of the DAO, correct?
I would think so in that particular case. Whereas a utility token would be like, oh, you've put in this money into our ICO. Here's some tokens that you can use in our system, whatever it is that they launch. So they give an example here of something called Filecoin, which had one of these ICOs, raised $257 million by selling tokens that would provide its users with access to their decentralized cloud storage platform. So in that case, you put money into their ICO, and you get access to the platform. You've got some tokens to get started once they launch it, if they ever launch it, if they don't just take the $257 million and walk away with it. But the holding those tokens doesn't give you claim over running the company. And so even though the tokens would still be tradable on a market, you're only trading access to the company's services as opposed to owning a piece of the company.
So that sounds kind of like funding capital through gift certificates almost.
Yes.
Funding capital through
raising capital.
Right,
through
you would be giving out gift certificates. You as the company are giving out essentially a private currency that your customers can use, or as you're saying, coupons or gift certificates or something like that. So sort of a newer version of that concept, almost.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a little bit about security tokens versus utility tokens. Obviously, if you're going to be running an ICO, you want to have the utility token because you don't want to be falling under SEC regulation, which means even more governmental hoops and such. Unless, of course, you're doing it outside of the United States, in which case, who cares? The toll-free number is 855.
Because there are other governments.
And if you are also outside of the United States.
Right. 855-450. Free is our number. Free Talk Live.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's
the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here toll free. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight. On the way, Melanie is going to be defending the Pharma bro, Martin Shkreli. And so we'll see what that's all about coming up here. Also, we can talk tariffs. And we'll take your calls. Again, 855-450-FREE. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And then the Discord chat where you can connect over at discord.lrn.fm. The chat is hopping right now. They're talking about Forkfest, which is coming up. It's June 14th through the 18th. Not to be confused with Porkfest, which is the Porcupine Freedom Festival. That event is still happening, but that will be following Forkfest, which again happens June 14th through the 18th. It's technically its second year. It's a renaming of an event that happened last year that, Darryl, you and I attended. Melanie, I don't think you were at that event last year. But already people are starting to talk about what to do because Forkfest is a decentralized libertarian or pro-freedom camping festival. It's going to happen in the beautiful Rogers Campground where we've been year after year after year broadcasting from, originally from Porkfest. We'll be at Forkfest, however, this year. And it's just an absolutely stunning location. You're right there nestled in the White Mountains of northern New Hampshire. Incredibly beautiful location, but also great people to hang around. It was small last year. It was its first year, and I expect it'll probably still be small-ish this year, but maybe the word's going to get out that there's actually a decentralized festival happening, meaning that if there's something you want to see happen, then you should probably make that happen. So, like, if you want to have music or, enjoy music, you can hire a band, or if you have musical talents, you can put on your own show. Or if you want people to speak, then get a PA system and a microphone and have speeches.
If you want to organize a beer mile.
Now, what is that?
So a beer mile is a thing to where you run a mile, but every quarter mile you have to drink a beer.
You
must provide your own beers, and there are rules about what constitutes a beer.
Hold on, but is that a good idea to mix drinking and running? I mean, I don't know if that...
I don't think so.
It doesn't sound like... I wouldn't want to have a beer sloshing around in me as I was running
And alcohol
around.
dehydrates you also.
It does that as well. So, and you're talking about at every quarter mile, so you would have finished 4 beers by the time you finish the run?
Yes.
So, like, if I drink 4 beers, I'm going to be I might be drunk at that point.
Right, but that's why there's going to be plenty of water and chips and cookies and bananas.
So now you want me to drink 4 beers over a mile's run, which you're only talking about, 10 minutes for the average person or something?
Oh, if you don't want to drink the beer, you can run a penalty lap.
Wait a minute. So wait, is that another mile?
No, quarter mile.
So if you don't drink any beers, you have to run a full 2 miles.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So have you done one of these yet?
I have never done a beer mile.
Does that mean you're setting up a beer mile for Forkfest?
It's going to be one of 5 athletic events that I am setting up.
Really?
Yeah, so there's going to be the Forkfest pentathlon.
Okay, what's that? Is that like 5 miles?
5 events.
Okay.
The beer mile is one of them.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be just a 100-yard dash.
Wait, now does that involve drinking too, or
no?
Okay.
And the beer mile is going to be the final one, so everybody's not S-faced
Thank
for
goodness.
the entire event.
All right.
Cornhole tournament.
That sounds dirty.
No, it's like, you've
It
got
was
the
a real
little
game
beanbag.
that then got turned into a. I forgot what the name of that is, but it was originally a real thing.
It's one of those carny games, right?
No. So you've got little bean bags, and then there's the slanted board, and you try to throw the thing through the hole on the board.
Isn't that made so like you can barely win that thing? Isn't that one of those like carny games where
the carnies have something similar, but no, it's just going to be a cornhole tournament.
Okay.
And instead of a discus toss, I'm going to get frisbees and do a frisbee toss, and whoever gets the frisbee the furthest.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so just like fun little
been
sporting events as a fundraiser.
There's never been anything like that in the history of libertarian camping festivals in New Hampshire that I'm aware of. They've done like yoga.
Right. No, I think that the kids have some kind of thing during the Porcupine Festival.
But this would be all ages.
Yes.
Presumably. So this is great. I mean, this is what, and of course, Jay Noon
and
has
only
already
adults would be able to participate in the beer mile.
I see. And so Jay
because
Noon
I don't want to be arrested for some 12-year-old drinking beer.
Absolutely.
It's something that I'm organizing.
You don't want to be doing that. Although I suspect there won't be very many undercover police around at Forkfest. You never really know.
Right.
I mean, over
maybe
all
you're the
years,
undercover police.
There is a conspiracy theory about that.
Deep cover.
Yeah,
that would be the deepest cover in the history of the state, I think.
Somebody wrote a blog post about that somewhere. I forget what blog it was, but the theory that I'm actually a federal agent. Over all the years of these camping festivals in the woods at Rogers Campground, there's never once been anybody arrested for like underage drinking or selling a beer without a license or whatever. They did send undercover agents once or twice, I think at least, that we know of for sure, to kind of scope things out. But they've never actually effected an arrest at these events, interestingly.
Right. And I think
I think they know better.
Well, I think one of the food trucks was harassed about not having a permit.
Well, it was. There's video of
There was
that.
the year that they sent the inspectors from the Department of Revenue, and that was the year that I got a video of those inspectors coming and then hightailing it out of there real fast after a crowd of people surrounded them and basically shouted them out of the park. So that was pretty awesome. There are some cool things that happen when you get a bunch of liberty-minded people together in the same place. And so that's what we're going to do. It's Forkfest. You decide what happens. Nobody's in charge. There is a website, and that website basically links you to resources. So community resources. So if you go to forkfest.party, you will then see links to a Telegram chat. You'll see links to the LRN Discord, which now has Forkfest chat rooms in it. You will see a link to the forum, the Shire forums, which has a Forkfest subforum. So I don't know if you've done this yet, Darryl, but at some point you should probably post a thread about your idea.
I did.
Excellent. So I just haven't been there in the last 24 hours or whenever it was that you posted it. So you can link to all those places over at forkfest.party and put something together. One of the first things that was announced was Jay Noon is going to be having a wedding there. So
yes,
longtime listeners of the show know
and that
Jay.
was announced before Forkfest was announced.
True, but he thought it was going to be Somalia Fest, and maybe it still will be. I don't know to some people, but we're calling it Forkfest here on the air.
Right.
You can call it whatever you want.
Because we have forked Somalia Fest.
And forked Porkfest. June 14th through June 18th, registration for campsites is all you have to do, by the way. There's no attendance fee, so you don't have to pay Forkfest because there is no Forkfest to pay. There's just an event that's happening in the woods at Rogers Campground.
Beer Mile does have registration.
Right, there you go. So an individual thing happening, that's up to those people. But Forkfest itself is just an idea. There's no formal organization to whom you could pay if you wanted to. So check it out, forkfest.party. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We go to a Twitch listener because we are streaming live on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm, which is a video streaming platform. Michael is calling from Russia. Go ahead, Michael.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
I just wanted to hear what you thought about communism.
What do I think of what?
Communism.
What do I think of communism? Let's start with Melanie. What do you think of communism?
Communism is probably the most harmful form of statism that I can think of. It's just socialism, but less honest about it. It's when you basically make sure nobody works and make sure no food. I mean, Venezuela would be a contemporary example of that. They're not quite communist, but yeah, I mean,
it's a socialist state.
You take away all the property, you tell people they can't make money, and then surprise, surprise, nothing gets produced and everyone starves to death.
It's an excellent question. Michael, stand by. Excellent Russian accent, by the way. Toll-free number here. Joking. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, but it's still a good question, and Darryl will get your answer coming up. What do you think about communism?
Must find moose and squirrel.
855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here on the radio. What do you think of communism? This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Dogosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Dogosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Dogosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. The Discord chat room where you can join the on-air call-in line there to get on the air with us over at discord.lrn.fm. All right, so we actually just took a call from Michael, who says he's in Russia, and he asked the question about communism. What do you think about it? Melanie, you weighed in first, but I wanted to give the whole panel a chance to respond, because not all of us think exactly the same. But let's hear, Darryl, what is your response? I'm going to bring Michael back on the line here to the question about communism.
Well, the question was, what do I think of communism? And, well, my initial response is not very much and not very often, because I tend to not think about things that are absolutely horrible and destructive of humanity.
Now, why? Why is it horrible and destructive of humanity? They say each according to his ability, to each according to his need. With communism,
well, right? Let me read from a Frenchman, Frederick Bastiat, who says protectionism, which was the word that existed for fascism prior to fascism actually becoming a word.
Also bad, fascism.
Yes. Protectionism, socialism, and communism are basically the same plant in three different stages of growth. All that can be said is that legal plunder is more visible in communism because it is complete plunder, and in protectionism because the plunder is limited to specific groups and industries. Thus, it follows of the three systems, socialism is the vaguest, the most indecisive, and consequently the most sincere stage of development. But sincere or insincere, the intentions of persons are not here under question. In fact, I have already said that legal plunder is based partially on philanthropy, even though it is a false philanthropy.
Plunder meaning to steal from, to threaten, to extract wealth.
So if I, come over and act as a pirate and take all of your stuff, I have plundered you. But tax is legal plunder, meaning that highway barons can come and just say, well, you have violated the king's decree. Yeah. Your stuff is now ours.
Right. So, I'd like to answer the question as well, and I think we still have Michael. Michael, are you still there with us?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So communism, look, if you want to have it, then do it by consent. If you and a bunch of other I'm not saying you're a communist, Michael, you're just asking a question. I'm not going to jump to a conclusion. But if you, the communist, who might be listening to the show, if you want to have a commune with some other communists where y'all till the land and farm and put everything into a common kitty and then hand it all out, however it is you determine to do that, divvy it up equally, so even though somebody who didn't work or who's lazy gets the same amount as the people who worked the hardest, by all means, have yourself a commune. I don't think it's a particularly good way to organize things, and I agree with Darryl, what you pointed out. If you're doing it by plunder, if you're forcing people in, which every communist system has done throughout the history of mankind, then you're going to have all sorts of problems that will manifest from that. You will have problems in a voluntary commune, no doubt about it, but at least then you're volunteering into that and have at it. So it's, to me, the big question is force being used, is aggressive force being used against peaceful people to force them into the communist system? And Michael, what are your thoughts?
Well, in my opinion, I really don't think communism is, after all, a very good thing, because what about it really is that it's just manipulation and starvation of your people.
Thank you for the call tonight, Michael. In fact, he's right about that. I was just reading a very interesting book. Since I've been doing some traveling recently, I had time to read Dear Reader, which is a book written by a guy named Michael Malice. It is written as though it is an autobiography of Kim Jong-il, who, of course, was prior to Kim Jong-un, the premier, or whatever you want to call him, right, head secretary in North Korea. He wasn't the president because his father is the eternal president.
For all eternity.
Right. And so it's actually written from his perspective. It's written as though Kim Jong-il was writing the book. It's like a 400-page autobiography of him. Very, very interesting. And it, of course, does cover the time frame in the 1990s when starvation was happening in North Korea. And it's interesting seeing, how Kim Jong-il might have explained that. And there's all this propaganda involved in it, like, oh, well, it was just the weather. It was all this bad weather stuff that happened right after the president died. All these bad weather events happened, and it destroyed the production capacity of North Korea, and so therefore people starved.
The weather that was manipulated by the Americans.
No, he actually didn't claim that one. Certainly there's a lot of propaganda about Americans causing problems for North Korea, and like the current, I don't know how current it is, but as within the last decade or so, the propaganda was the reason why North Korea has brownouts and blackouts is because they're being sabotaged by the Americans.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with the inefficiencies of communism and the failures of, industry that's centrally controlled. And of course, that's the reason.
It's all of those guys on 4chan doing a DDoS attack on the power plant in North Korea.
And also, of course, you have areas of the world where there's bad weather, but yet crops still get harvested. There are surpluses. There are supplies that can be stored, in the times of a bad harvest, right?
Oh, you're just using logic.
So because you have competition in the marketplace, you have innovations in storage, innovations in harvesting and growing, and places where there are more freer markets in growth, in creating farms and things like that, and not central control like you get in communism. You get a variety of options. You get a plentiful ability to harvest and store, and so those are the reasons why the communist food system failed. All of the industry was run by the government, and when there's when there's no market signals that are being taken into effect because markets were banned effectively in North Korea, then there's just failure. And it happened in the Soviet Union, and it happens, almost every single time. As you pointed out, Darryl, in Venezuela right now, you've got a socialist system, which of course a lot of communists like socialism because they see it as a step on the path towards total communism.
Yep.
And you've got this Venezuelan socialist system where people are going hungry. It's happening right now, and it's horrifying. I can't even imagine what it must be like to live. It's hard, right, to put yourself into those shoes. You can try to imagine it, but we're not standing in line for 8 hours in a day to try to get a roll of toothpaste or something like that.
A roll of toothpaste,
a tube of toothpaste. We're not a roll of toilet paper.
Right. Well, things are so messed up in Venezuela, it would not surprise me if their toothpaste did come on a roll.
It's a crazy place, and it has to do with the socialist government there taking over industries and basically running competition out the door and then running those industries into the ground. And now I haven't even mentioned the insane exchange rate. I was at a taco truck the other night, actually, in Austin, Texas, and I heard somebody talking about Venezuela. And they talked about the exchange rate being like 5 to 1, 5 bolivars to 1 from the government official exchange rate, which is not correct. It's 10 to 1. But it was 6.3 to 1 just a few years ago. And then they talked about how if you go into the black market, you get even more bolivars for $1. But they were only saying it was like 40. And I actually spoke up and I said, "Are you from Venezuela?" And she said no. And I said, "Well, last time I checked, it was 200,000 bolivars to $1 in the black market there." And then I pulled up dollartoday.com, and it's actually 215,000 as of a couple of nights ago. So it's just crazy. Communism is a terrible idea, but if you can make it work voluntarily, man, have at it. Have at it. Go ahead, have yourself a commune.
Well, and that would still be kind of heinous. It just wouldn't be a NAP violation.
Non-aggression principle.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be aggression if it was voluntary. It would still be a really bad idea. And I would go so far as to say immoral, but...
Immoral to volunteer into communism? Now, where's the immorality there?
You're just volunteering into a atrociously inefficient system
well,
that's going to lead to
deal.
everyone starving to death.
Now,
so yeah, that's
hold
kind
on.
of...
There are some communes that still exist today.
I mean, it's just a suicide pact with extra steps is what it is.
But if there's been a...
Life is a suicide. We're all going to die
right, but you
eventually.
didn't volunteer into that conditions.
Unless
it just happens to be that way.
But look, I get what you're saying. I think it would be a crappy deal. I don't want to live on a commune because I don't believe in the idea of, everybody should get the same amount of stuff.
I also have some concerns, like if there was just, if the state of Texas, which I don't know why it would be that state just because it's big, decided to be every single person in the state of Texas tomorrow was like, we're going to be communist and we agree to do it this way. I would then have concerns about the surrounding area and what would happen to them when Texas runs out of resources.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna.
No doubt.
And they're not just going to sit there and die. They're going to be like, they got some stuff.
I think if it were on a large scale like that, it would be an absolute disaster every time. But if you're talking about a small commune, farm or something like that, those things have existed in the past, and some of them have managed to stay in existence. It's probably not the best lifestyle, but those people are choosing it for themselves, so I don't see the immorality in something like that. There's more coming up here in moments. Hour number 2 is coming up on Free Talk Live.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT NoGov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often two U.S. armed allies end up directly fighting one another. The split between Turkey and the Kurdish YPG, however, is a particularly difficult challenge. Turkey has been complaining for years that the U.S. was too cozy with the Kurds, insisting the group is a terrorist organization. This has become a higher priority since Turkey invaded Syrian Kurdistan in January. Now the U.S. is promising to rein in the Kurds to try to calm Turkey, which probably sounds like a good idea to U.S. officials trying to manage Turkish relations, and probably sounds really bad to U.S. officials trying to manage relations with the YPG. Already the Kurds are disquieted by the lack of U.S. support since the January invasion, seeing it as a betrayal. Overt talk of trying to rein them in is likely to add to the sense among some YPG leaders that the U.S. is a fair-weather friend that can't be counted on when the chips are down. Kurdish history is littered with examples of allies who eventually back away from the Kurds when they get a better deal elsewhere, and many have expected it would only be a matter of time until that happens with the United States. Whether that's America's intention or not, any move to try to placate Turkey will be seen that way. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports at least 2 people were killed after a tourist helicopter crashed into Manhattan's East River on Sunday evening, with several people trapped inside. A spokesman for New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio confirmed 2 passengers died and 1 other was rescued, but divers are still searching for other passengers. As many as 6 people may have been on board at the time of the crash. A bystander caught the incident on video, which shows the helicopter crashing into the waters and submerging into the river as the blades kept spinning. The New York Post reported that witnesses saw the pilot escaped the helicopter, but the other passengers were trapped inside. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another, Ms. Lindekrantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Lindekrantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Lindekrantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Lindekrantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Lindekrantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Lindekrantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
U.S. presidents often take credit for solving complex issues with many moving parts, whether they deserve that credit or not. But how much impact can a sitting president really have on the tides? We all know that presidents like to take credit for the undulations of the briny deep, when it suits them, that is, and we Americans are quick to blame whoever is in power for the multitudinous seas. During Eisenhower's administration in the 1950s, citizens took to the streets to protest his inability to harness the unruly waves, but Ike shifted blame for the tides that year onto a heron that had recently been born with a raven's head. But the truth is, when a president is in office, there's only so much he can do. Sure, the president can bring an amulet with the Eye of Horus to the top of the tallest peak, or spread lamb's blood on the base of an elm tree during a lunar eclipse. In reality, it's hard for anyone to know with true certainty how the tides will play out under any administration. For The Onion, I'm Eliza Hayes.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. You can join us also on the Discord on-air call-in line chat room at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
In the toward the end of the last hour, coming up, by the way, we've got some cool stuff on the way. Darryl, you're going to tell us about 5 times tariffs made things worse. And I imagine that's a selection of 5 times because there are probably thousands of times where tariffs have made things worse because every time a tariff is placed, it makes things worse. But we'll get into that. And also, Melanie, you're going to be telling us about Martin Shkreli. You're going to defend the Pharma bro. All that's on the way. But we were talking about communism because one of our callers, who's actually a viewer on Twitch, which we stream at Twitch. It's our HD video stream every single night. We're live there. You can watch the archives, I think, for up to 2 weeks. Twitch doesn't store things forever. We do also have a YouTube channel if you want to go back into video archives. But check out twitch.lrn.fm to see us there. Let's go to James. He's also calling about communism, calling from New York. Go ahead, James. You're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, hey, my question is for Darryl, and I'm actually a candidate for state assembly in New York. I've been puzzled with the support for anarcho-communism lately. It seems to be rising.
What is I'm sorry to interrupt your question. Just so we can all be on the same page here, because definitions are important. What is anarcho-communism? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's essentially the original stage of Marxism. They wanted anarchy at the end. They wanted an absence of government, but we both know that's never happened. And, yeah, that's really that. They
So
agree
the
with
idea
anarchy.
is they want to go through state communism and then supposedly abolish the state from the communism?
Yeah.
Well, Marx always claimed that the end goal was to get rid of the state after they got done using it to
But it never gets there.
steal everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
I know some people that will use the term libertarian socialism
I've
to
heard that.
describe what they support, but they're
I don't
not
understand that
advocating
either.
using the state to get there.
They're not? Okay.
Except that socialism is a form of a state, so that doesn't actually make any sense.
Oh, I didn't say it made sense. I
Okay.
just said they're not advocating for the state to get there.
Well, but they are, because that's what
Wait, no.
That's what socialism is.
yeah.
They're really not, though, because with anarcho-communism, they're just communism in a sense that it's a social thing. You allow it, you agree with it. It's voluntary, like Darryl was talking about. It's not the communism where you have governments like China and Russia controlling everything.
Okay. So tell me what your question was, because I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
My question before I went on that rant before was, do you see any place for the anarcho-communists and the Libertarian Party to work together with us? Because they seem to be rapidly rising, and I think their social libertarianism could help us.
I don't know how rapidly rising they are, but if they're actually supporting, libertarian ideals, then yes, come to the party.
Yeah.
If you're trying to join the Libertarian Party, and I'm not speaking to you specifically, James, but if somebody's joining the Libertarian Party to redefine what libertarian means, then absolutely they do not belong in the party. So the Wayne Allen Root types who, when he joined the party back in 2008, said, I want to redefine libertarian to mean conservative. No, I don't want you in the party. But if you're actually going to, learn the libertarian philosophy and help us get to a libertarian society, then yeah, come on, join.
I know that I worked with Anarcho Jesse when he was living here in Keene, and I think he might have described himself as an anarcho-communist, perhaps. I'm
And
not sure.
how'd he work out?
He's gone. Like a lot of other people have moved and left because, some people don't have the same level
Wasn't
of
he
commitment.
gone for reasons, though?
Certainly he burns some
Everybody
bridges.
has reasons for why they
but
leave.
some people are like, I got a job offer for $1 million.
That's
and some
a
people
reason.
are like,
Yeah. Some people-
I robbed a bunch of people and now I have to go now.
That is also a reason.
Some people also leave because of family. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people move to New Hampshire and then leave. But regardless, I'm willing to work with anybody so long as they don't want to use the threat of force to achieve their political or social goals, which is basically the statement that people have to sign if they're joining the Libertarian Party. Unfortunately, it seems like the Libertarian Party is just rife with people who've signed that statement and don't appear to know anything about it, don't appear to have in any way internalized it. So, James, anything else you want to share with us tonight?
Just that I want to agree with you there. It seems like they kind of play the game with being a libertarian to a degree just so they could get our trust, but they end up being tankies. They're really easy to, switch sides and support bigger government, like Obama.
What is a tanky?
Yeah, that's a new term for me.
A tanky is essentially like a Marxist who supports militarily overthrowing the bourgeoisie and pretends that they could just take out all the corporations and kill everybody. They're really crazy.
Should we come up with the term choppery to describe the people that want to just throw everybody out of helicopters that they disagree with?
Now, what portion of the Darryl? You're active with the Libertarian Party nationally. I'm not. I resigned back in 2008 from my life membership because of all this infighting and the political sort of position of the Libertarian Party weakening and no longer being principled. But you've been involved. Is there a large anarcho-communist wing or a small one at all? And how does their size compare to
as far as I'm aware,
conservative
it's
types?
Just a handful of people.
Whereas there's a bunch of these conservative clone types.
There are a bunch of conservatives that think they're libertarians because they've read a book that one time that used the word non-aggression principle and they think they know what it means.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. And then there's other factions now that have come out recently. There's a radical caucus. There's the Mises caucus.
The Mises caucus seems to have sprung up after Nick Sarwark said something
that's the chairman of
not
the party.
Necessarily nice about Tom Woods.
Oh, so it's personality based?
Oh, it's all most of the caucuses are personality based.
It's so annoying. Hey, James, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
That's why I'm a big fan of the caucus.
Is that a thing too?
Oh, that's a thing that's just making fun of all of the caucuses.
I see. How many caucuses are there?
Nobody really knows.
I see. All right.
There's a joke that there are more caucuses than there are members of the Libertarian Party.
Because you could be in more than one caucus.
Yes.
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. Let's go to Bobby. You can bring up whatever's on your mind.
There's the Bear Nukes caucus.
Like bear that claws or bear the bear skin?
No, as in the right to bear nukes. Like you've got the right to bear arms.
I was saying that kind of bearing.
But you could give nukes to a bear, I guess.
Let's go to Bobby. He's in Lakeland, Florida, watching us on our. Whoa, hold on. You're way too loud. It may not be your fault. I'm gonna make sure the board op has a chance to turn you down there.
No,
go ahead.
I'm good.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're good now.
No, you got the Ian. You're learning. You get me excited when you put that. So okay, let's hit our topics. I got the topics.
Huh? Was there a sentence there? Because I'm having trouble following you.
I think they're English words, but they're not in a sentence.
Excited.
Okay, all right. Settle down. You're just on the radio in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Now calm down.
You're just talking to us. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I haven't called in 2 weeks because 2 weeks ago I was on Discord and I dropped the F word and I felt bad about that.
Yeah.
But I am coming off of because but actually I was listening and talking.
It sounds like you're coming off of some speed or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Are you normally this jumpy?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing. I've done 250 milligrams of Adderall.
Okay.
Between Saturday.
That sounds like a lot. Is 250 milligrams of Adderall a lot of Adderall? What's the standard dose? Isn't it like 10?
Well, yeah, if you're doing a dose, yes.
Now, is this Adderall like? So you said over the weekend, or how long was the time frame for 250 milligrams?
Okay, so I didn't go to sleep Saturday night. I didn't go to sleep Sunday night.
According to the prescription drug addiction blog.
Hold on, Bobby. We've got actual information here.
According to the prescription drug addiction blog, you should not give a dose larger than 40 milligrams per day to a child. 60 milligrams for an adult is considered to be a large safe dose.
Now, Bobby, how many milligrams was 250 over how many days?
Since Saturday.
Between Saturday night and
now.
Today. Yeah.
And now.
So
All right, stand by. I want you to write down what you want to say so we can understand you. More coming up here in moments with Bobby. He is flying high on a legal prescription drug called Adderall. This is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com. This is Darryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I am raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome to the world's most powerful spells by High Priestess Catherine Oles. Now, this is kind of like a lot of those religions where you can just sort of just name yourself whatever you want to, right?
Right, exactly.
Super wizard.
Right there at the top. Wait, 1 year unconditional money back guarantee. So, like, if your spell fails over the course of the year, oh, the tumor came back.
Here are the terms. You must give the spell time to work. This time frame is 120 days from the date of purchase. That's 4 months. A request made.
I don't even want the lover back after 4 months.
You must allow for time for a full energy exchange. Sometimes our spells take time. Must not be that powerful. Why can't I upgrade? I mean, she charges $97. Oh, wait, no.
There's a sale that ends tonight at midnight.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you may bring up what you want. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking with an Adderall user right now, Bobby. He's trying to collect his thoughts, although he's flying high on what seems like a fairly large dose. He said since Saturday
night.
Yeah, he's done 250 milligrams of Adderall, which, Darryl, you looked it up. And you found that 60 milligrams for 1 day is considered a large dose.
A large, healthy dose for an adult.
Healthy? I don't know if that's what I don't know if I would use that term.
I think the term.
It's on the high end of safe. Is
Yeah,
probably what that means.
You're not going to die from taking
the
that
term
dose.
was safe, not healthy. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, so we're going to get back into that here in a moment, but also I do want to let you know about Zencash. You want to talk about a cryptocurrency, if you're a liberty-minded person that you need to be looking at, it's Zencash. They were founded by liberty-minded people, by voluntarists who actually wrote in voluntarism into the white paper. You can go and see it for yourself at zencash.com. It is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has now become one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. You want to learn more about it? You should. Go to zencash.com. Do your due diligence, do some research, and check out the features. They've also got the decentralized autonomous organizations that they're working on rolling out. I still believe at the moment. I'm not sure what the status is on that. But go and check it out for yourself at zencash.com as we continue here with Bobby. He is on Adderall tonight and has been for the last few days. Now, Bobby is. Are you prescribed Adderall, or do you acquire it on the black market?
Sure. Yes, I'm prescribed. Yeah, sure.
Okay. And is
but
it?
I did have some very good topics.
Well, hold on.
I'm
So
sorry.
basically, you took 250 milligrams between now and Saturday night. So that's basically 100 milligrams.
125 a day, because it's basically been 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 100 per day. Now, is that what you're prescribed to take?
Well, I think that's why Tom Likas likes you so much.
Tom Likas. Okay, you call Tom Likas your show.
Well, no, I actually called you guys 16. Well, now I'm getting to the. I called you guys 16 months before I even found Tom Likas. I started calling you guys in April 2011.
We don't really need a history of your calling the show.
Yes.
What was it that you were calling about tonight? Did you write it down?
So yes. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Yeah.
Okay. Give it to us.
Don't get me excited. Okay, yes, so I got it.
That's
so
what
I
she
called
said?
the call screener and I talked to the sometimes she does. And I like to watch the YouTube when you got that hot chick on, and it was really funny because.
Are you the fan? No, wait. Okay, wait. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. What were you calling about tonight now?
Okay, but you got me off on a tangent.
I know. I apologize about that. So
Darryl,
you keep to your notes. What was it that you called about?
Okay, so I called the call screener, and I acted like I didn't know what Daryl's name was, and I said the Ginger. But now that I look at his hair on YouTube, he doesn't look like a ginger.
No. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Bobby. I appreciate hearing from you. So there you go.
Why would you
were a
call
ginger.
and pretend to not know who Darryl is?
I don't know. I didn't want to keep it going.
What?
Yeah, you're not a ginger. You're not dying. You're not dyeing red hair, are you?
No.
You got brown. It looks like brownish brown hair.
Yeah,
to me.
Brownish.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. So thanks. Thanks for the call. Enjoy your night. By the way, I highly recommend against doing what he's doing. He said he did not sleep on Saturday and Sunday night, which would mean he is now.
Oh yeah, you've got some experience
that's what happens when you go on a meth bender.
Right, but Ian has some experience going a long time without sleep.
Yeah, and
he does not have a prescription for 125 mgs a day.
You don't think?
Nobody has a prescription
I think you
for
asked
that
somebody on the
much.
radio, "Are you committing a felony?" And they were like, "No."
So there you go. Let's go on here. The toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's talk to Mark in Salt Lake City. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Mark.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So today I want to talk about Edward Snowden. And I know that Darryl was on the phone when I called you guys up last time.
Oh, yeah, you
QAnon
called a couple nights ago and said that Edward Snowden's not actually in Russia. He's staying on a roof in Hong Kong.
Really?
Yeah, and he's since moved over to China. Apparently, he was on the run for a bit, and he moved over to Shanghai.
So this is the problem that I'm having with this. If you know Edward Snowden's secret location, you should not be calling us and telling us what it is.
Well, no, they know where he's. So ultimately, QAnon, he posted rooftop photos. It's a little bit complicated. You don't need to go into it right now. But he posted saying that Edward Snowden was there. And remember how I was saying that Edward Snowden had gone silent for a period of weeks?
I see that he posted on Twitter over the last couple of days.
What did he post?
Yes.
Just random stuff. But there for a while, he was posting stuff multiple times a day. And then mid-February,
he dropped off.
He just stopped posting, and the claim by somebody on 8chan or 16 Deep Chan or some kind of weird site is that the reason he stopped posting is because he had to go to Hong Kong to go live on a roof.
Wow.
No, that he's always been in Hong Kong.
Always?
He never made a permanent stay in Russia.
Well, wait, so he didn't go to Russia, or he did go to Russia for a while because they interviewed him in a hotel in Russia, didn't they?
That's what they want you to think.
He does make trips back and forth, but he does not have permanent stay in Russia. He actually had permanent stay in Hong Kong. So Q made he doesn't flat out say it because he doesn't go out making claims or accusations, but he hints towards things and allowing others to make, whatever inferences that they want. But but for these inferences, he was sort of stating that that Edward Snowden is actually working for the Chinese, and there was a document from the House Intelligence Committee, which I feel like it's the House Intelligence Committee, so it's got to be 100% correct, right?
No.
But they said that basically those documents that Edward Snowden supposedly leaked over for the related to the PRISM program and the other things that the NSA was doing for surveillance, that was actually a very, very tiny fraction of what he actually had. He not only had that, he had pretty much all the keys to the kingdom in terms of what we had, and that he was sort of given asylum in China in exchange for giving China the hacking tools that.
Now, hold on. Are you saying you are reading
created.
all of this between the lines based on his tweets?
Yes. Well,
okay, so this is your interpretation.
Not me. Yes, not me. I'm not.
Someone
I'm
named
not
QAnon that's on 8chan.
Someone is. Yeah, someone
okay,
is.
So this is hearsay.
Reading these things by QAnon.
So this is
and
this is you reporting on something that somebody claimed, which is hearsay. I just want to make sure we're clear on this.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is completely unverifiable at this point, and it's an interesting theory. Mark, anything else you want to share?
Yeah. Oh, I want to say I saw a clip. It was actually a GIF. It looks like Darryl Perry has kind of made himself into a meme. Like during your debate at the presidential or at the libertarian presidential debate at the convention. There was a guy who showed a sort of GIF of you. I guess you got really furious and then just like slapped your lectern or whatever.
We're coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Skype username's LRN.FM. Discord chat, we've got the on-air call-in line there that you can join at discord.lrn.fm, or you can just chat with other Free Talk Live listeners in the Free Talk Live chat room, or the other ones. There's a bunch of other chat rooms there, like cryptocurrency and gaming, the brand new Forkfest chat room, one about New Hampshire, and more. Go to discord.lrn.fm. You probably live in a home, unless you live in your car or something like that. But odds are you live in a place that you might want to put some security around it.
We were actually talking about a story last night where a judge ruled that some guy's truck was his home.
I met a guy who
So therefore, he has a home.
I was in a parking lot in Austin, and a dude rolled up next to me who was homeless, living out of his car, and said he had heard what he thought was like air hissing out of one of my tires. And he kind of got out, and I was like, well, you know, there was actually a tire that was flat earlier, when a semi-flat, and I put some air into it. And he said, no, we couldn't find whatever it was. And he was getting back in his car, and he looked over at me and he goes, you know anything about cryptocurrencies? And I said, well, why, yes, I do, as a matter of fact. So then we had like an hour-long conversation. He was already into cryptos and had bought some Litecoin at one of the local vending machines in town. And I hooked him up with $10 worth of Dash, and we went over to the McDonald's and like got on the Wi-Fi. So it was cool, man, just kind of randomly running into a homeless dude that was into to cryptocurrency. Really nice guy. Anyway, if you've got a home, you might want to protect it with security, and you probably don't want to spend a mint on the amount of security system that you would need to install. BlinkProtect.com actually has an option for you, and it's surprisingly affordable. You can get basically 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for one wired home security camera. Blink cameras are wireless, which means the installation is basically a snap. You unbox, you put batteries in, the batteries are included, and you put them where you want. You set it all up with your Wi-Fi enabled device, like a tablet or a smartphone. Go to blinkprotect.com, and the situation there has changed, by the way. We finally have a coupon code that is actually working. So a long time ago when Blink started with us, we thought there was going to be a coupon code, but it didn't work, and now it is working. So we can finally tell you that if you use code FTL at checkout, and I've tried this, so I know it works, you will get 10% off of the Blink security system. And I believe it applies to pretty much whatever you put in the cart. So go and check that out over at blinkprotect.com. And when you're checking out, use coupon code FTL, like Free Talk Live, for 10% off. As we go and continue with your calls and thoughts, Kyle is on the line in Atlanta, watching us on the Twitch stream, the Twitch video stream at twitch.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was wanting to know what your thoughts were on the Trump administration about nigger.
You can't say that on the radio. It's just not going to make it. So toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Not even worth addressing what the question was at this point. So let's change gears and get into, Darryl, your story about tariffs before we get to Melanie explaining why she's going to defend Pharma bro Martin Shkreli.
Actually, go with Melanie because my browser seems to have frozen.
All right. Well, Melanie, Martin Shkreli made headlines, a few years ago, I guess it was, for being the owner of some sort of pharmaceutical corporation who jacked up prices on...
Yeah, so he raised the price on one of the drugs that was used for a couple of things. It was prescribed to AIDS patients. It was prescribed for some kind of parasite also. But he raised it from, it was like $7 a pill to $750 a pill.
He raised it like 5,000%.
Yeah.
Just because he was a jerk, or like what was the
Well, I mean, that's of course going to be the CNN headline, right? You know, pharmaceutical company raises price by 10,000%. No reason.
Well, was there a reason besides just trolling or being an a-hole?
I mean, yes. So
what was it?
So, and if you want to say that somebody then therefore should not work in this industry, that's fine, but that's a separate argument, and that's not the argument that any of the people on the internet, or most of the people on the internet, are making as to why they hate him, and they're happy and also surprised for some reason that he was upset after getting convicted the other day.
What was he convicted for?
Fraud.
Not for that. He was convicted of fraud for...
Well, it's not fraud.
Managing a hedge fund and lying to people about what returns of investments would be, and then taking money from one company and then putting it into the other to make it look like profits were higher.
Cooking the books, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess first of all, on that end, he did get convicted of fraud, basically of that.
So you're not going to defend that.
Well, but see, this is the thing. He got convicted in a U.S. court of fraud, which means that we round up 12 random people, and the case went on for a month. The U.S. round up 12 random people, said, you have to sit in this building. I know you have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, and tell us if this guy's guilty or innocent.
So what you're saying is the jury system sucks, and that people are forced by the threat of violence to become jurors. They have to leave their lives. They have to go into this building, as you're saying here, become maybe even sequestered, not go home in certain circumstances, and be restricted on what they can say about their involvement in said case. That's basically conscription.
Well,
right?
yes, and that's kind of a separate issue though, because so if I take 12 people at random, and my criteria is over the age of 18, non-felon, what do you think the odds are that all of them are competent if I hand them a pile of financial statements and say, was this investor fraud?
Yeah, they're not competent. What you're arguing for
there's
here is
absolutely no basis for that conviction as far as I'm concerned. He might have done it. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea whether or not he did that, but I have no reason to believe that he did, just because 12 people who have no background in finance say that he committed this complicated financial crime.
Well, is it that complicated to tell a lie and commit fraud? I mean, it's usually not complicated to commit fraud on people.
If I'm making a statement about a complicated subject, then you have to analyze whether
and if it's complicated, then, and you said it was like a month-long trial, then it's going to take a lot more words to explain what happened than what you just did in 2 minutes.
They're going to bring in supposed experts who are going to testify and try to make this
understandable. They had witness statements.
Yeah, try to make this understandable.
Okay, but at the end of the day, the people who are being
So hold on, are you only defending him based on the fact that he went into the government's jury system?
No, that's a separate issue.
Should all juries' convictions be thrown out because they are not necessarily the most competent triers of fact?
I mean, I wouldn't have a particular problem with that, but if it's a murder
should Jeffrey
case,
Dahmer be released simply because he was convicted by?
I haven't. Well,
that's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, so
a murderer should a convicted murderer be released just because they had a jury?
Murder, a average person has a concept in their head of what a murder is.
Yeah.
They have a general idea that if it's like, oh, this person stabbed this person through the heart or shot them in the head, they have a concept of that is a murder, and they understand what murder is. They don't understand.
Right, but they don't understand DNA evidence. They don't understand fingerprints. They don't understand that sometimes witnesses wind up just being incompetent.
Okay, so then those are good reasons to throw out all convictions. But then if you add on top of that that they don't even understand what crime is being alleged, and this is not like their fault. They never said, I'm a financial
And you
expert.
said you've looked into this case? I mean, because, I haven't looked into the case, right? Like, I just did a quick Google here for Martin Shkreli. What's the latest news? Headline from CNBC. Martin Shkreli, he's crying here. He's sorry. He's claiming it's his fault.
Yeah, that was a sentencing hearing.
Yeah, well, if he didn't do it, then why wouldn't he be like, I didn't do this?
Because that's what a sentencing hearing is.
Uh-huh. So what you're saying is that even though he's admitting fault, you still don't think
At the sentencing hearing, no, that's silly.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that because he's being sentenced, he's going to tell a lie about him defrauding people so he can reduce his sentence to say, look, sorry.
He's alleging that he didn't defraud anybody because they were ultimately paid, even though he was cooking books to wind up being able to pay them.
The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Just because he's crying like a baby at a sentencing hearing, you're saying that doesn't mean that he's actually guilty.
No, the fact that somebody is...
Hold on, we'll come back with more here about Martin Shkreli. It's Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Now, we're talking about Pharma bro Martin Shkreli, and I want to get back into that here because, Melanie, you said you're going to be defending Martin Shkreli here tonight. So far, it seems like you're attacking the government's jury system, and I want to see how you connect the dots, and we'll get into that a little bit deeper here. But also, I do want to invite you over to freetalklive.com where we have all kinds of features, including an email list. You can get signed up right there at the front top of the site. It's an email sign-up box there. Just pop your email in, and we'll send you an email usually on a once-a-week basis to keep you in the loop with what's been going on with Free Talk Live. So go to freetalklive.com. You can get signed up there for free. That's, once again, freetalklive.com. As we continue here, we were discussing Martin Shkreli, who was just recently sentenced to approximately, 7 years, I guess it was?
7 years.
In federal prison for not for anything with manipulating the price of a healthcare device, which is what he made news headlines for originally. Apparently, he was actually under investigation already for these other crimes while that manipulation
for committing fraud while mismanaging a hedge fund where he was doing stuff
I've got details on that
pulling
case here.
funds from one company to the hedge fund.
Yeah, I've actually got some details on the case, and I want to get through some of those. But I just want to make sure I'm understanding you so far, Melanie. You've pointed out that jurors aren't known as being experts in the fields in which they're being asked to
they don't
judge.
hold themselves out to be experts in
Right.
all fields. That's
Right,
kind
they're
of a
just
ridiculous
average people.
standard to hold somebody
They're just
to.
average people who've been pulled off the
so
streets.
my point is, I have no opinion on whether or not Martin Shkreli committed fraud. I have no evidence that he did, and therefore I'm not going to put that into my calculations on what kind of a person he is.
Okay.
Because the fact that 12 people who know nothing about finance, who never claimed to know anything about finance, said that he was guilty of some finance crimes is completely meaningless in my weight of anything.
But if an
so that's
accountant
kind of a side
was there,
issue.
if an accountant was there and said this guy's guilty, that would go ahead and say, all right, he's guilty. You'd agree?
No, that would just make it a more credible claim.
You'd
that doesn't
still have to
necessarily
see the evidence for yourself.
Right? Yeah. So I'm not going to believe.
The
First of all,
average
I'm not going to
person
believe
doesn't
something
have
just
that
because.
time, right? Like the average person doesn't have the ability to look at all the pieces of evidence in a case and say, was the jury correct about this?
Right,
I
but
wanna
then
assess this for
the
myself.
reasonable thing to do is to not have an opinion on that issue.
Mhm.
I can't assess, quantum physics, so then therefore I should not have an opinion on quantum physics. I'm not going to say, well, I think X about quantum
But is
physics
there anything
because
you can
a
defend
But is there a
non-quantum
quantum
physics said something.
physicist that's been alleged of a crime and you're serving on a jury? Otherwise, there's no valid reason for you to necessarily start coming up with, random opinions.
I don't know what crime a quantum physicist would commit that would have to do with quantum physics.
You don't have to.
But
Okay. All right, so you're not defending him. What you're saying is the system sucks, and so you question all verdicts.
No, but it was brought up additionally by, I think, Darryl, that he also committed fraud, and I'm not defending the fact that he committed fraud because it's not a fact
You're saying
that he
it's not
committed
a
fraud.
fact that he committed.
And it kind of
You're saying that even though he's been convicted, it's still, in your mind, just an allegation.
Okay, first of all, the fact that there's a conviction in no way means that somebody did what they were alleged to do. But also, additionally...
But sometimes it does.
It's irrelevant... It's irrelevant to whether or not they did it. Like, just because you got convicted doesn't mean you're innocent, but it doesn't mean you're guilty either.
What it means is that 12 people were presented a case by a prosecutor, and they were presented a case by a defense attorney, and they decided, in this case actually, to find him not guilty of multiple counts. He was acquitted of 5 criminal counts related to hedge fund investors and a drug company that he founded, but was convicted on 3 counts of securities fraud. So what happened here was a group of 12 people looked at the evidence. Maybe they're not experts, but they've looked at the evidence and we haven't. Okay, so we don't even know what the evidence was in this particular case, but yet we're commenting about it. And they said, well, he appears to be guilty of these things, but not these things. So at the very least, there was some deliberation that went on amongst these people, and they did look at some evidence. Now, if you want to reject that, that's fine. Then you can just simply say...
I'm rejecting it because the people who made the decision are definitionally unqualified to make that decision.
Then that's what you can say is, I don't trust jury decisions. I don't know if he's actually guilty of the things that he's been found guilty of. But that's not the same thing, in my mind at least, as defending the man and saying that the things that
I was going to defend him, and then Darryl said, but he committed fraud. Well, I'm not defending him for committed fraud because there is no evidence that he committed fraud.
There may be evidence.
Not that I have.
You haven't seen it.
Or that anyone has other than maybe a prosecutor and a defense attorney
if
somewhere.
If you were sitting in the courtroom, you would have been able to see the evidence.
That's not even true.
No? True.
Everything doesn't get admitted, and it doesn't get admitted properly.
Well, anyway, here's what happened according to CNBC, where a federal jury recently found notorious Pharma bro Martin Shkreli guilty of 3 counts of securities fraud. But as I pointed out, they acquitted him of 5 criminal counts related to hedge fund investors and a drug company he founded. A split verdict in his trial came on the 5th day of jury deliberations. So it's not as though these people just went back and came immediately out with verdicts. I mean, they certainly took a long time to look over this information. And again, they can look at the evidence.
I can spend 5 days looking at a surgery textbook and come out with an answer 5 days later. That doesn't mean I have a basis to do that.
After more than a month-long trial in Brooklyn, New York, at the trial, prosecutors claimed Shkreli had defrauded multiple investors in his 2 hedge funds out of millions of dollars, only to repay them with stock and cash that he had looted from the biotech company he created called Retrofin. While the 7-woman, 5-man jury clearly accepted some of the prosecution's evidence, it rejected other parts of their argument. The mixed decision perplexed many in the courtroom, including the 34-year-old Shkreli, who first drew widespread public scorn in 2015 for raising the price of a life-saving drug by more than 5,000%. He looked quizzically over at one of his lawyers each of the 3 times that the judge interrupted a set of not guilty announcements. She was reading off the jury's verdict sheet with a guilty one. A juror who was quoted anonymously by the New York Times said, quote, "In some of the counts, at least we couldn't find that he intentionally stole from them, and the reasoning was to hurt them," unquote. Matsumoto did not set a sentencing date. So again, this is from a little while ago. He has now been sentenced. It's 7 years in prison. Shkreli said, "I think we are delighted in many ways. This was a witch hunt of epic proportions, and maybe they found 1 or 2 broomsticks, but at the end of the day, we've been acquitted of the most important charges in this case." But of course, the other charges still netted him 7 years in prison, so I guess there's not a whole lot that you can celebrate there. His lead attorney told a group of journalists, quote, "I hope tomorrow's reports inform the public that Martin Shkreli went to trial, and despite being Martin Shkreli, he won more than he lost." But acting U.S. State's Attorney Bridget Road, whose office prosecuted Shkreli, said, quote, "We're gratified as we stand here today with a jury's verdict. Justice has been served," she said. And they plan to try his co-defendant and former business attorney Evan Griebel later this fall. Rothman said the amount of money Shkreli could be made to surrender would have been much higher if he'd been found guilty of ripping off Retrofin to repay the swindled hedge fund investors. But Shkreli was acquitted of that charge, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which he referred to as the money count. Rothman said that because the jury found that any loss suffered by Retrofin was either low or non-existent, as the defense claims, the sentence recommended for Shkreli will be light. I don't know. Do you consider 7 years to be light?
He was looking at 20, so.
That's, I would say, medium, maybe.
It's lighter than it could have been.
Quote, "I think we would love to have complete sweep, but 5 out of 8 counts not guilty is, in our view, a very good verdict, especially since count 7, the main count that impacts on the loss in this case, that was the most important count in the case from our perspective." And for Martin to be found not guilty is a very, very good result, blah, blah, blah. The charges against Shkreli were unrelated to his decision while the CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals to raise the price of Daraprim from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. The price increase came as he was being investigated for the case that led this to trial. Prosecutors said a mountain of testimony and evidence at that trial showed Shkreli duped multiple investors into putting millions of dollars into 2 hedge funds that he ran, and he falsely claimed to have an excellent record of running such funds, and by falsely stating his investment strategy had a low level of risk. After getting their money, Shkreli quickly lost much of it.
I'm sure that the jury is equipped to assess that it didn't have a low level of risk for this particular security.
And also used some of it to capitalize his infant company, Retrofin, even as he continued sending out financial statements to investors claiming positive returns. And when investors asked for their money to be redeemed to them in cash, Shkreli brushed them off for months or more, inventing excuses and suggesting alternative ways to pay them back, according to the prosecution's case. Now, do you think that a jury can read emails? Because it sounds to me like there's some communications here where investors are mad at this guy, and they're saying, hey, give me my money, and he's being dodgy.
Okay, well, you don't always just get... I can't go buy stock and then be like, oh, a month later, I just changed my mind. I'm emailing you and saying that, like, that
it sounds to me like you're saying that people who commit financial crimes basically should not go to prison because of the judicial system in the current state. There's more coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is on the way. Share your thoughts.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish. They'll hold your cards and cash. But they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics. And it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President, something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often 2 U.S. armed allies end up directly fighting one another. The split between Turkey and the Kurdish YPG, however, is a particularly difficult challenge. Turkey has been complaining for years that the U.S. was too cozy with the Kurds, insisting the group is a terrorist organization. This has become a higher priority since Turkey invaded Syrian Kurdistan in January. Now the U.S. is promising to rein in the Kurds to try to calm calm Turkey, which probably sounds like a good idea to U.S. officials trying to manage Turkish relations, and probably sounds really bad to U.S. officials trying to manage relations with the YPG. Already the Kurds are disquieted by the lack of U.S. support since the January invasion, seeing it as a betrayal. Overt talk of trying to rein them in is likely to add to the sense among some YPG leaders that the U.S. is a fair-weather friend that can't be counted on when the chips are down. Kurdish history is littered with examples of allies who eventually back away from the Kurds when they get a better deal elsewhere, and many have expected it would only be a matter of time until that happens with the United States. Whether that's America's intention or not, any move to try to placate Turkey will be seen that way. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports at least 2 people were killed after a tourist helicopter crashed into Manhattan's East River on Sunday evening, with several people trapped inside. A spokesman for New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio confirmed 2 passengers died and 1 other was rescued, but divers are still searching for other passengers. As many as 6 people may have been on board at the time of the crash. A bystander caught the incident on video, which shows the helicopter crashing into the waters and submerging into the river as the blades kept spinning. The New York Post reported that witnesses saw the pilot escaped the helicopter, but the other passengers were trapped inside. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another, Ms. Lindekrantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Lindekrantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Lindekrantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Lindekrantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Lindekrantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Lindekrantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
As a police officer, I constantly live in fear that I might be filmed brutalizing a civilian. It's something you know from the time you're a cadet. The slightest civil rights infraction in front of anyone who's looking, and the next thing you know, you're surrounded by cameras and trending on Twitter. No cop should have to worry about that. Practically every precinct I know has somebody serving desk duty just for acting on deeply rooted prejudices when somebody had a recording device on them. It happened to my partner, and it even happened to our own captain. One day he's just kicking an unarmed pedestrian in the ribs when all of a sudden people with cameras are everywhere, and then they just start shooting what he was doing, all 6 minutes of it. I can't help but think sometimes that could have been me ending up at that desk job. You never know which day of total impunity will be your last, but for a cop, that's just our daily reality.
is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You may take control of the airwaves here at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And we've also got Discord, the Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm. You can jump in there and get on the air with us that way. To bring you up to speed in case you're just tuning in, at the end of the last hour, Melanie, you said you were going to defend Martin Shkreli, who was recently convicted of some securities fraud and apparently, allegedly ripping people off and moving money around that he wasn't supposed to. And anyway, he was acquitted on some counts and convicted on a few. And you called that into question by saying that, well, jurors are not competent to take on financial matters.
And they don't claim to be.
And so, therefore, just forget about prosecuting anybody who's ever done any kind of fraud. Let everybody get away with defrauding people because the government system is not the best system?
Okay, so I don't think that the government should be prosecuting anything for other reasons, and we can have that discussion, but that's
meaning if somebody steals from another person, there should be no prosecution because we have a government system.
Okay, but if there's also no
system?
Government to prosecute that,
but
or
we have
the
a government
reaction
today.
to that, okay, I understand that.
So you're talking
but that
about,
doesn't mean I'm going to just blanketly believe anything the government says. But that
no, I wouldn't say you should blanketly believe.
The fact that he got
in this
convicted
case,
of fraud,
it's the jury that is saying.
Okay,
that he
the fact
did
that he got convicted of fraud is irrelevant to me because I don't consider that good evidence that he actually committed fraud, and it's also irrelevant to everyone else because he's not in the news because he was accused of committing investor fraud. No one cares.
Headline
about
from UPI: Judge finds Martin Shkreli responsible for $10.4 million.
I didn't
lawsuit.
say that the fact that he committed investor fraud wasn't in the news. I said that he wasn't in the news because he committed investor fraud. Those are two different things.
What she's saying, Darryl, is that there are other people who are committing fraud who don't get news headlines like this. He's in the news because he's Pharma bro, which he got there's been a bunch of hubbub about how he raised prices on some kind of life-saving medication. And I think that's where Melanie wants to take this, is what she told us during the news, that she hadn't even gotten to the point of defending him yet. She's just attacking the government court system for being not the best system. And I agree with you.
I agree. It's not the best system, but as they say about democracy, it's the one that we've got.
It's the one that we've got. And to
I don't know why I'm having to defend that we shouldn't trust verdicts to anarchists right now.
Okay. I'm not saying every verdict is trustworthy or that every juror is correct or that every juror's decision is going to be correct. But to say that while we have a government that nothing should be done because of financial fraud. If somebody commits fraud against somebody, as liberty-minded people, we tend to be against fraud. So if somebody commits fraud and steals from someone or steals from a company or whatever, that they just shouldn't be prosecuted at all?
Okay, so
it's
if
pretty
someone
crazy.
commits fraud against you and you then bring that to a court, a civil court or a criminal court or whatever, you are not wrong for that, but that does not mean that I'm going to take a fraud verdict by 12 unqualified people who never claimed to be qualified. This is not against the jurors. And then take that as any kind of credible evidence. I'm not. That is completely, and it's irrelevant to me, and it's irrelevant to the people who care.
You also shouldn't listen to the judge because the judge isn't an expert in financial matters.
I'm not listening to the judge, and I don't know why anyone
I'm just
would.
saying that in the world that I'm hearing envisioned here is that matters
so Ross
of fraud
Ulbricht also got convicted. Does that mean he
matters of fraud would go before expert accountants who are black belts in subtraction?
Ross Ulbricht, on day one of the trial, his attorney admitted that he created the Silk Road. I mean, so by the government's own definitions, at the very least, he was involved in the Silk Road because he admitted it in court. Now, I'm not saying he should have gone to prison. He shouldn't have. That whole trial was a farce and a sham from top to bottom.
To call it a kangaroo court would be offensive to courts presided over by kangaroos or even one presided over by Captain Kangaroo.
False convictions happen. I don't know why this is such a contentious issue right now. But that is the fact that he has a fraud conviction, not because I think fraud is irrelevant.
Are we talking about Martin Shkreli now?
Yes, not because fraud is irrelevant, but because I think that the conviction is non-credible, is irrelevant to me in my assessment of him.
Okay. All right, let's leave it there. Now get to your next point about Martin Shkreli.
Okay, so the reason why people care about him at all, or even know who he is, and the reason why the internet is celebrating his conviction and mocking him for crying after being sold into slavery for 7 years, is because they don't like the fact that he raised the drug prices on a drug that I can't pronounce right now.
Oh, I had it earlier, but I don't have it.
It starts with a D, but it was a drug that is prescribed to AIDS patients and some patients with some kind of parasite. So it's like a drug that you would need. So people are just kind of looking at that $750 price tag and saying...
Up from $13.50,
right? That's what it was being sold at prior to his... I don't remember if he bought the company or he bought the patent, but he bought a bunch of companies and a bunch of patents.
Daraprim is the name of the drug.
So he raised the price of Daraprim by like 7,000%. Or 10,000%. Whatever, from $7 to $750.
Okay.
So people are looking at that and saying $750 feels, therefore he's evil, send him to jail. I don't care what for.
Well, I mean, look, the dude shouldn't go to jail for being a jerk, but I mean, come on.
That's not what he was convicted of. He was not convicted of anything about raising the price of the drug.
Are happy about him going. There are people right now saying we need to remember that he wasn't, convicted of raising prices. He was convicted of stealing from millionaires. And yes, that's true. But people, yes, I'm sure there's some people that hate him for investment fraud, whether he did it or not. But the majority of people hate him for raising drug prices.
She's saying people want him to go to jail because he raised drug prices.
Walter Reed didn't go to jail for falsifying evidence and being a slave driver, but that does not change the fact that I celebrated when he got convicted. So I'm not...
Hold on, wait a minute. You accepted that jury's verdict? And you celebrated over it?
I knew for a fact he was guilty of other things that aren't even necessarily crimes. I'm happy he's going to jail. That doesn't mean that the verdicts issued for what they were issued for are correct and accurate.
All right. So Martin Shkreli, people are mad because he raised prices. And I think that seems legit, right? Like if the company's making money at $13.50, because otherwise why would you sell a product if you weren't making money?
Companies sell loss leaders all the time. What are you talking about?
Pill companies sell loss leaders. It's a different thing when you've got a retail. Generally, the term loss leader comes up in the retail environment where Walmart will give you a price on a...
Walmart actually sells prescription loss leaders, by the way.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's different than setting a wholesale price of $750.
Right, because Walmart also doesn't have the patent to various drugs that they then wind up saying, this is the price that you must sell it for.
So
I presume this is a patented drug.
But what happened was people saw $750, no knowledge of why that is, feels, therefore... I hate him and I hope he goes to jail.
Can you empathize with the feels? I mean, because people could feel
people
like
that use the word feels don't understand what empathy is.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Do you have empathy?
Really.
Can you empathize with the fact that somebody who was paying $13.50 for a medication that might be a life-saving or very convenient medication to have now have to pay $750?
But that's not how it works, is the thing. So that's kind of the part that's important. So the list price for drugs, it's a list price. The fact that
Is a recommended retail price, or is this the wholesale price?
It's the price that he was selling it to insurance companies, hospitals, and probably pharmacies for, but that does not have any relation to the consumer out-of-pocket price.
Unless the consumer does not have insurance or does not qualify for some kind of program through
it does
CVS.
have a relation because the insurance companies raise their prices based on what they have to pay.
Right, and they will generally pay about 2/3 of whatever the billed price is, which still, it's going to vastly up the amount that they're having to pay.
It's also the case that drug companies give away, depending on what drug it is, roughly half of the prescriptions that they not sell, because the ones they are giving away aren't selling. So they give away about an equal amount to direct consumers that they actually sell, roughly, about 50%.
You're making a general statement about drug companies. Are you alleging that Shkreli's company was doing giveaways?
The Daraprim or whatever it is was a 40-60 split.
They're giving away their product to who?
To people who couldn't afford it or
There's more
didn't have
coming up here
insurance.
in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We're talking about the Pharmaceutical drug Daraprim, which was the drug that the company owned by, or it's the CEO, Martin Shkreli, had taken over back in like 2015, 2016, and then subsequently raising the price from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. Melanie is actually trying to defend this guy, Martin Shkreli, the so-called Pharma bro, who recently went to prison on a sentence of 7 years for unrelated charges, for fraud-related charges. But we're going to continue here. You're, of course, welcome to join us. And don't forget, if you've got a liberty-oriented business, or if you just have any old business and you're liberty-friendly, then you ought to put your business up on liberty.menu. It is a website that allows people like us who believe in freedom, who love the ideas of independence and ending the idea of the state, people who are individuals who reject the initiation of force and who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, you need to get over to liberty.menu and add your business to the list, to the map. There's a map and a list, and it's pretty slick. They've not only got business entries, but also digital media. So if you're a media creator, like I put up Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree on there, for instance. And if you're a media creator, if you are, for instance, an event creator, somebody who is putting something together that others can come and join and do, there's liberty-friendly events listings there as well. It's all free, by the way, so if you got something to put up there, it won't cost you anything but the time it takes to do it, and it could bring you some new customers. And if you're a potential customer and you want to find out who in your area is libertarian-friendly, it's a great place to do that over at liberty.menu. Again, it's a pretty new site. It's still within its first year of existence, so it needs more entries. It needs more content.
Yes.
So get on over there and add your entries to liberty.menu. It is totally free to do that. All right, so Melanie, let me see if I can recount what you've said here about Martin Shkreli, the CEO, who is, I guess he's no longer the CEO of this drug company, Turing Pharmaceuticals. He's going to prison, but when he was CEO, they raised the price of a life-saving medication, or a medication that could definitely help people have a better quality of life, to $750 from $13.50. And you're saying no big deal?
Well, it's not no big deal, but that is
because
different
he gave some away?
Okay, so part of it is that he raised the list price. The list price, first of all, the fact that something has a list price tells you that that has nothing to do with what the actual net price is.
Well, yes, it does, because if a company pays $750 for a product, most of the time they're going to want to sell it for more than that.
Okay, so that's not a list price, that's a wholesale price.
Okay, I thought this was a wholesale price because you had told me that this was what they were selling to the retailers.
Some of them they were.
Because you don't buy directly from the manufacturer when it comes to pharmaceuticals, typically.
Okay, so the list price was $750. Not all. That wasn't even. They were giving discounts as low as 50% to some hospitals, was what I could find. There were also
a 50% price break off of $750 is still way more than $13.
And it is not uncommon for pharmaceutical companies to give away a large portion of their drugs to people who can't afford them so that they can charge higher prices. And the reason why pharmaceutical companies need to do that, and depending on who you ask, you get different numbers, but the numbers are anywhere between $800 million and just under $4 billion is the cost to get a drug FDA approved. That has to
this drug's been on market since 1953.
Right. I mean, the things you're saying here are, frankly, ridiculous. The drug was already approved, and they'd already built in the cost.
You can't charge for drugs that weren't.
They had already built the
yet.
cost into when you put R&D into something and you put regulatory compliance costs into something. You then decide on what the cost needs to be in the marketplace over the years to recoup those costs. Previously, before it was $13.50, this drug was $1 per pill. So they had sold this drug for years for very, very low.
It was $1 after this.
Let me give you some of the history here. According to CNN.com, this is a story from 2016. Here's what happened to AIDS drug that spiked 5,000%. They talk about the raise of Daraprim to $750 per pill and that Hillary Clinton was mad about it. A year later, one pill of Daraprim costs $375 now for many patients. Turing, the company that had purchased the U.S. distribution rights, as they point out here in a moment, hails this as a 50% reduction in price. But doctors are livid. The drug still costs 2,500% more than before the hike. Dr. Wendy Armstrong, medical professor at Emory University, says it remains criminal. It's still an immense financial burden for a drug that should be $1 per pill. That's a doctor saying this should be an affordable pill because it was affordable. Turing says it has put in place programs, quote, these are the ones that you're citing, to ensure access to Daraprim for every single patient who needs the drug, regardless of the ability to pay, unquote. That according to Martin Shkreli, who left the company in late 2015. But doctors say the reality is Turing has now created an expensive bureaucratic hurdle for patients to get a drug that can save their life. And now other companies appear to be following the Turing playbook. For 16 years, Dr. Armstrong has treated HIV and AIDS patients. And just last week, she was treating with a patient with HIV who developed a brain infection. That patient needed Daraprim, but the hospital ran out of the drug in the middle of the treatment. Patients typically need 2 to 3 Daraprim pills per day for weeks or months. Dr. Armstrong requested more pills and immediately received a call from the hospital's pharmacy. They told her the order for more Daraprim would have to go through the hospital review committee because it's so expensive. It's a tough situation for the doctor who remembers when Daraprim only cost $1 per pill. Remember, you need 2 to 3 of these per day, typical patients, for weeks or months. You do the math. That price was $1 per pill until 2010. When Pharma bought the rights to market and distribute Daraprim in the United States from GlaxoSmithKline. Pharma soon hiked the price to $13.50 per pill and watched its revenues climb. In 2015, Pharma then sold that same set of U.S. rights for Daraprim to the Turing Corporation, who then raised the price to $750 per pill. So in the span of 5 years, Melanie, you have 2 companies raising the price by thousands of percents in total, and you're standing there trying to say that, oh, well, they gave away some of them to some patients, and so therefore it's totally fine to just rape people.
Medical list prices are... People who go in uninsured do not pay list price. Insurance companies don't pay list price. The list price is not the price. That's why they call it a list price instead of just things that don't have list prices. Nobody's like, oh, the list price for bread is $1.50 because bread doesn't have a list price.
What is a list price? Are you saying that's the manufacturer's suggested retail price?
You're saying that the list price and the retail price are 2 different things, and it's not a manufactured suggested price, and it's not the sticker price, it's not the wholesale price, it's just some other kind of thing.
You have not made that clear.
Okay, well, I thought okay. A list price is a stated price so that it can be adjusted up or down, I guess, for... If you walk into a car lot and the sticker, it's like a sticker price. It's the official price.
So you're saying it's the suggested retail price? Because products on a retail market have a suggested retail price, and they have a wholesale price. And I'm not saying
some things have a list price if there's a system of bureaucracy that makes it beneficial to be dishonest about what the price actually is.
What are you saying the price is wholesale of these things?
She doesn't
depends because it has a list price. That's what.
Well, whatever it is, the hospital's saying these are too expensive. We need to send this to a special board to get approval. That tells me there's a serious problem with the pricing here.
It tells me there's
the single most important thing your body needs. So you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, take control of the airwaves, and bring up whatever is on your mind. 855-450-FREE is our number. That's 855-450-3733. As we continue here, I did mention earlier tonight, Melanie is a tax accountant professional, and she does bookkeeping work and will help you prepare your taxes for that dreaded day, which is coming up about 4 weeks from now. You can go to tax.freetalklive.com, and that is where you can get in touch directly with Melanie. Tax.freetalklive.com will forward you to her website with contact information. How's everything going so far? Are things picking up as you roll a little closer to April?
A little bit busy right now with some partnerships and S-corps. That's coming up this Thursday.
What's this Thursday?
The deadline for partnerships and S-corps.
Oh, it's different for individuals as it is for corporations?
Yes.
See, I don't know anything about taxes. This is why you need Melanie to help you out, because she knows this stuff.
Yeah, so then after that, I have some stuff to do, and I kind of expect to get some more people, some more individual returns before April. So a little bit busy, probably will be more so later on.
So don't delay. Get in touch with Melanie and get her on board. She's an anarchist. She hates the state so much that she even rejects the state's court system's jury decisions, as we heard earlier tonight. So she will not. She will do everything she possibly can to make sure the state gets as little of your money as possible. You can guarantee that. Go to tax.freetalklive.com to get in touch with her. Now, I did look, and Darryl, you've also done some digging here on this list price confusion here, because Melanie, it doesn't seem like you're crystal clear on what the list price is of
I
drugs.
didn't think that was something I needed to explain, so
Well,
if
it's
there
not
is any
been clear, so we need to know, because the claims are all that this Martin Shkreli guy raised the price of Daraprim from $13.50 to $750, and the way the news reports make it sound is that's the retail price, sort of the going retail price of this particular pill. And in fact, some doctors say they remember when it was $1. Now, you're saying that you believe that the retail value is actually lower or could be lower in certain cases based on whatever.
Right. So let me give the info that I found.
And before you do that, I did search for, what can I pay right now for Daraprim? According to GoodRx.com, Costco will charge you $4,477 for 6 of them. Hannaford also same price. Price Chopper a little more expensive. Kroger Pharmacy more expensive. Shaw's more expensive. So at $44.77 for 6, that's about $746 per pill. Now go ahead, Darryl, with what you found out.
Yeah. So there's a much larger article here from Newsweek talking about how prescription drugs actually get their price, and it's tied in with Medicare, Medicaid, insurance reimbursements, etc. And there's a section that says pricing and reimbursements are entangled. Drugs may ultimately have several different prices, but the first one is the list price, which comes from the manufacturer. The list price is not necessarily the price that most people pay. In some cases, hardly anyone may actually pay it, but it is the price that serves for the basis for all subsequent calculations.
Right, so you get a discount off the list price.
Correct. So if, say, the insurance company says, we will pay 80% of the list price, they're paying 80% of $750 per pill. So the list price does affect what the actual price is.
And it's still a lot more than $13.50. And, Melanie, you just sit there and act like this is no big deal because some
I'm not
people...
saying it's no big deal, but the problem isn't
You're
Martin Shkreli.
defending
The
it.
problem is the FDA and the
well, and that's what
medical system,
no doubt,
and everything else.
There's no doubt. The fact that he's got a patent, and I think that's where Jay Noon wants to weigh in here on the amp lines, the fact that he has the benefit of the government's monopoly privilege system of patenting.
He doesn't have a patent. The drug is in the process. It's in that sphere to where generics could be made of it. Any company could petition the FDA to approve their generic version, but nobody has done that.
But still, patents do protect these things for a period of time, and that means that people like him can just arbitrarily, with no competition to check him, raise prices dramatically. Anyway, go ahead, Jay. You're on Free Talk Live, calling from New Hampshire.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I got a few comments to make on this. I'll get into the patent enforcement thing in a second here, but for example, I've had a hay business for 20 years, and literally from 1999 to about 2009, I was definitely probably one of the biggest players in the hay industry for basically Massachusetts. I used to, I had 4 or 5 trucks going. I was working 100 hours a week myself. I had 7 guys working for me, and I was, there was years when I moved 300,000-400,000 bales of hay between hiring guys and broker and hay. It was just insane. I actually,
wow.
So, but one thing I would do is I had a customer who was a multimillionaire, and I charged him $14 a bale for his hay to put in his barn in Cape Cod. His neighbor, a mile down the road, was a woman that was a single mother, had a couple kids, had a few horses in the backyard. She paid $5 a bale.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that guy found out about that. He went berserk on me.
Wow.
Basically, if he could, he would have took some kind of action against me, So I'm not saying what this guy, Mark Schmuckatelli or whatever his name is, did was, right. But I don't want government to have the ability to say he can't do that.
No, and the government didn't say that, just to be clear. The government didn't say he couldn't do that. He was within his legal rights to do it. But that doesn't mean it was right to do it.
Right, but there are people who are advocating all over social media that this guy should be imprisoned or have his wealth stripped from him because he did jack up the price of this specific drug he had a patent on.
Well, obviously,
or his
there are people
company
who are going to go to the government and complain and cry when somebody does something they don't like.
Right. And even though this guy was convicted of some securities fraud, I don't think he should go to prison for that, because that means that his victims just have to pay to feed, house, and clothe him. If anything, he should be forced to become a fry cook at Wendy's and work for minimum wage.
It almost sounds like he made his victims whole. I say almost sounds like that. I don't really know.
What I read was that he was ordered to make payments of fines to the government. I don't know what the accuracy of that is, because sometimes reporters who are there will get confused between fines and restitution.
But in some places, restitution goes to the government, and then the government distributes it.
Jay, anything else you want to share?
That too. So anyways, but the biggest issue that I think we really need to focus on, especially as being libertarians, the thing that I focus on with this particular case is the fact that me and Darryl and Mark and Melanie couldn't get together and start a compounding operation and start just manufacturing this substance that's been around for 60 years, and I don't even know what it's made out of, but all these things are just made out of simple compounds that are just compounded. In fact, my stepmom's a pharmacist, and she worked in a compounding pharmacy for years. And she told me she could make this literally for like $3, just going and gathering and ordering online certain ingredients. When this came out a few years ago, it was one of the things she said. I said, let's do that and sell them on eBay. She's like, oh yeah, we'll get raided. We'll go right to prison, even if nobody got hurt, even if there was no complaint. Just the fact that we have this men with guns protecting these corporations or protecting whoever holds whatever patent. That's
right.
The big issue, is the fact that the free market can't operate.
On this, it's not a patent. It has the effect of, because the FDA ultimately has to approve anything, even if it is a generic.
Oh, really?
And nobody has ever asked the FDA for approval to make a generic version of this.
The reason for that is because it costs so much money, and nobody wants to apply because there are very few people who use this drug.
I see. So basically,
that brings it back around to where if all of us talking here decided to start a business and just started, selling these things online, eBay or Amazon or whatever, because we didn't ask the FDA, we didn't ask the government for permission to do this, something that's already proven and been accepted by doctors for a half a decade. Men with guns are coming after us. So whether it's a patent or if it's just getting permission from a bureaucracy, still,
it's the government that has
at hand.
Yeah, and in defense of the bureaucrats, they'll shut you down for selling lemonade without a permit, too.
Jay, thanks for the call tonight. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that this Shkreli guy, Martin Shkreli, the Pharma bro, who's going to prison now for 7 years, he's not going to prison, by the way, for raising the price on the drug. He was within his legal rights as a CEO to do that, but that doesn't make it right what it was that he did. Just because something is legal for someone to do doesn't necessarily mean that it's moral or a good thing to do or is going to result in positive feelings in the marketplace. And ultimately, how people feel about you in the marketplace will affect whether or not they're willing to spend money on you. Unfortunately, Shkreli and his company had an exclusive deal to distribute a product that is protected by the violence of the state.
They had a ridiculously expensive license that anyone could buy is what they had.
Okay.
And that is different than a government-granted monopoly. It has some of the effects of a government-granted monopoly, but if anybody can go buy this license for $800 million or $2.7
You mean
billion,
the license
whatever.
to have exclusive distribution of
It's not a
Daraprim
license
in
to
the
have an
United
exclusive-
States? No. What license are you talking about?
To the FDA approval to say that you can manufacture this drug.
They were exclusively distributing it in the United States.
Right. They were exclusively distributing it because no one had requested the ability
Because
to
it's too expensive.
Distribute a generic version of it.
And the reason for that was because you have to jump through the FDA's hoops to get approval for that.
Right, and that's
it's not
what
worth
Melanie
doing.
was referring to as the really expensive license.
Yeah, okay. But it's still the government protecting him, because if you didn't have to apply for that license, then anybody would be able to get into the game.
At the same time, if you didn't have to apply for, and yes, you should not have to apply for that license, clearly.
Right.
But because you do have to apply for that license, that also means that when these drugs have to be upgraded, and this one did, that you have to spend that same amount of money again to upgrade a drug that very few people use, which means that there's very few people to spread that cost around to. He
Right.
had a
What-
history of running companies and running projects to develop drugs where very few people wanted. or very few people needed to use them, so nobody wanted to invest in them because there wasn't going to be a profit. So
what do you mean there's no profit? I mean, they've been selling these drugs for $1 a piece until 2010.
Yeah, but it's
Clearly
not
there
like
was profit
aspirin where
involved.
a lot of people use it. There is
This is a drug where, according to various sources that I found, less than 2,000 people per year are prescribed this. The average dose is 100 pills, which means that you go for you've got a toxoplasmosis infection. You need 100 pills of Daraprim to treat that. You're now out $75,000.
That's for a month.
Asterisk, unless you're able to wind up getting various discounts through your insurance.
But even still, it's going to be way more than $1 a pill, which is what these were.
It's going to be way more than $13 a pill.
So again, he's being protected by the state. That's the reason why he's able to do this.
He's raising the prices so that then he can pay the state to manufacture the upgrade.
Okay, well, that's the first time I've heard that claim because according to this story...
it's more fun to say, oh, he's richer than me, he's crying in court.
According to this story, Daraprim still only costs $1 or $2 a pill abroad. Turing only has the U.S. rights to distribute
abroad.
it.
That's why I buy meds from India all the time.
Hold on. Is Turing manufacturing this, or are they just distributing it? Because they're saying here that they have the U.S. rights to distribute it. So your claim that Turing is using the money to upgrade the drug, I don't think is true. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to that.
What I read said that they were manufacturing it, but even if they're not, that doesn't mean that they're not going to develop the upgrade.
What upgrade is needed to this drug?
She has no idea.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a
We're all just going on things that we've heard
people
here.
were saying.
It sounds like BS to me because if you can still go get the same drug in other countries for $1 to $2 per pill,
other countries don't need FDA approval.
But they've got their own versions.
They had FDA approval.
Okay, so I don't.
The drug was already approved by the FDA and was being sold at $1 a pill.
In 1953.
I don't buy it that another approval is going to all of a sudden require $750 per pill. That just doesn't fly with me. But going on here, Turing, again, only has U.S. rights to distribute. Doctors around the world have flooded Dr. Aberg, who's one of the people that commented in the story here at CNN, with offers to send her supplies from other countries. Quote, "It's not illegal what they've done at Turing, but it's unethical and immoral. This is affecting patient care." According to the doctor, at hospitals trying to keep down costs, doctors have been discouraged from using Daraprim. Dr. Aberg says her team used to prescribe it about 5 times a month. Now they're down to using it once, if that. They've turned to alternatives that aren't nearly as well tested with unknown side effects. She says, quote, "That doesn't make patients feel confident. It doesn't make us feel confident. The main ingredient in Daraprim is now available compounded with another drug. Imprimis Pharmaceuticals sells this alternative compound for $1 per pill." So let's be clear. There is something out there. It sounds like it's slightly different, and it's not stated exactly the name here. There's an article about that. Express Scripts partners with maker of $1 Turing pharmaceutical. Yeah, Imprimis Pharmaceuticals just found a backer. This is from 2015, December of 2015. Just found a backer to distribute its $1 alternative to Daraprim, the infection-fighting drug whose price was hiked 5,000%. Express Scripts, a major manager of prescription drugs, said it will be offering patients
Okay,
the
so
low-cost
if it fights an infection, then it's an antibiotic or effectively an antibiotic, and those expire.
It's an anti-parasite drug.
Right, and viruses, parasites, and bacteria evolve, so they need to be developed constantly. It's not like a broken bone where once we figure out how to do it, then now we know.
Competitor for $1 per pill. I mean, the fact that you continue to defend this, I think, is pretty ridiculous. But we'll continue here. So again, the alternative, the competitor, is being sold for $1 per pill, and they obviously got FDA approval at that price point too. Turing has made a big deal about its programs. This is what you brought up earlier, Melanie, that they've created to reduce costs for patients. For instance, they say the drug is available for free to people with deep financial needs. But Dr. Aberg has watched her patients have to jump through the hoops to get it, Patients have to both prove financial need and health status, something that's difficult to focus on when their lives are in danger. In June, one of her patients gave up on the process. That patient then switched therapies entirely, only to suffer a negative side effect. The application also requires patients to sign broad disclosures, quote, to use and disclose all of my individually identifiable health information. Dr. Aberg says some patients, especially with HIV and AIDS, are hesitant to do that. So you got to jump through a bunch of paperwork hoops. You've got to basically give them Facebook-level control over your information, essentially granting them your health details and being able to completely license them to use it. Maybe they want to make an advertisement about you or something like that. They can do that, and then they'll consider giving it to you for free.
Okay, so how are they supposed to fund R&D? How are pharmaceutical companies supposed to fund R&D?
They funded it at $1 per pill, Melanie, for years.
Okay, it's a pill that kills a living thing, a living microbe, which microbes are tiny. They evolve quickly. They need to be updated. There are multiple people saying this one needed to be updated. Well,
then they managed to update it over the years and keep the cost at $1 per pill. I mean, I just don't understand how you can think that all of a sudden it needs to go up to $750 to fund more R&D. I mean, I'm not running the company, so I don't know, but you don't know either. And looking at those price points, I can completely understand why, especially even professionals, this isn't just your average Facebook, user hammering out an angry post.
Doctors are not economists.
We're talking about doctors who have seen the prices of these pills and know what they should cost.
They've known what they've costed historically. Yeah. Doctors are not economists. I mean, neither are any of us.
Is Martin Shkreli an economist, or is he just a CEO of a company?
Yeah, he could just be an a-hole. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to know anything about economics to be a CEO.
Okay, so when a pharmaceutical company sells an antibiotic and then that bacteria evolves or that parasite or that virus, they should just sit back and say, well, we already paid the FDA $800 million, which is on the low end of the estimates to get an approval for this drug, but now we need a new one. We were not going to develop it because we can't get any money anyhow.
So what you're saying is they develop a new drug, so it would be called something else. It wouldn't be called Daraprim, right? It would be like Daraprim 2.
Yeah,
Daraprim B. Daraprim 19.
You can't just go to the FDA and say, I'll give you that $800 million 10 years from now once I recover it. That's not how it works. That's not how anything works.
That's why they have money to invest in things like this. It's not like this pharmaceutical company.
And where does the money come from?
It's not like this pharmaceutical company has no money. It's not like they don't have any money sitting in a bank account to which they can pay for regulatory things.
Okay, corporations don't just have magical bank accounts of money that come from nowhere. You're arguing like a fiscal
No, it
leftist.
doesn't. I'm not saying it comes from nowhere.
Ridiculous. It
you
comes from
save the
prices.
money, Melanie. When you take money in, you take some of the money that you are earning on the revenue of each of these sales and you put it into R&D.
But they weren't doing that because it's a disease that very few people get or a condition that very few people get.
You're saying they weren't saving any money for R&D. So this company has no money for R&D, and that they're just going to raise it from a bunch of poor people.
They're selling prices for $1 a pill. No, they're not raising R&D.
You know, they probably have other pills that they distribute, right? Like it's not just this one pill that they're dealing with. If you are taking money in at retail sales and you're not putting money into R&D, you're running a piss poor company. See you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
It seems like we're constantly hearing different fitness advice. Exercise 2 to 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes a day. And don't forget cardio. But don't exercise too much or you'll get hurt. So, how much exercise should you be getting? Well, actually not that much, since the human body is only built to withstand walking a short distance before lying or sitting down again. In fact, a group of biologists from Stanford found that walking more than 5 feet at a time can cause joint pain, fatigue, and even extreme hunger. The study concluded that the maximum effort the human body can safely endure is reaching for an item high on a shelf. Our bodies simply aren't built to stand up and move around. So maybe those high-intensity spin classes and daily jogs aren't such a good idea. Instead of walking up the stairs every day, try taking the elevator whenever possible. You can even use a fitness tracker to let you know when you've been exerting too much energy. Your body will appreciate it. For The Onion, I'm Jill Hooper.
This is the Onion News Network.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often two U.S. armed allies end up directly fighting one another. The split between Turkey and the Kurdish YPG, however, is a particularly difficult challenge. Turkey has been complaining for years that the U.S. was too cozy with the Kurds, insisting the group is a terrorist organization. This has become a higher priority since Turkey invaded Syrian Kurdistan in January. Now the U.S. is promising to rein in the Kurds to try to calm Turkey, which probably sounds like a good idea to U.S. officials trying to manage Turkish relations, and probably sounds really bad to U.S. officials trying to manage relations with the YPG. Already the Kurds are disquieted by the lack of U.S. support since the January invasion, seeing it as a betrayal. Overt talk of trying to rein them in is likely to add to the sense among some YPG leaders that the U.S. is a fair-weather friend that can't be counted on when the chips are down. Kurdish history is littered with examples of allies who eventually back away from the Kurds when they get a better deal elsewhere, and many have expected it would only be a matter of time until that happens with the United States. Whether that's America's intention or not, any move to try to placate Turkey will be seen that way. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports at least 2 people were killed after a tourist helicopter crashed into Manhattan's East River on Sunday evening, with several people trapped inside. A spokesman for New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio confirmed 2 passengers died and 1 other was rescued, but divers are still searching for other passengers. As many as 6 people may have been on board at the time of the crash. A bystander caught the incident on video, which shows the helicopter crashing into the waters and submerging into the river as the blades kept spinning. The New York Post reported that witnesses saw the pilot escaped the helicopter, but the other passengers were trapped inside. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another. Ms. Linda Krantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Linda Krantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Linda Krantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Linda Krantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Linda Krantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Linda Krantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Researchers at Princeton University's Department of Sociology have made a major leap in our understanding of social interaction.
We conducted trials in 90 supermarkets across the country and found that essentially 100% of people disapproved of having a stranger hit them across the face and then expose their genitalia right in the middle of the supermarket, which we found very interesting.
Researchers observed similar reactions when the subject hurled shopping carts toward unsuspecting shoppers, stood in the deli section rubbing cold cuts against his chest, or got right near cashier's ears and began loudly singing Yankee Doodle.
In this particular trial, we had our subject, Kevin, take off his shirt, tape a banana to his forehead, and charge at various shoppers like he was a rhino. Within 20 minutes, store owners called the police and he was arrested, allowing us to come to the conclusion that this type of behavior is still considered at least somewhat taboo.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear, no fear here and declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedoms with an Ass, Phoenix, That was a good one. I'm going to save that one. All right, Mark Passio. Oh, it's a special treat today. We're going to get to know a new friend here. I tell you, he's brought to my attention. Saw him at Anarchocommunism, heard him speakifying, and I tell you, there was a lot there. You know, what do I always say? What have I been saying for the past years? I'm going, man, we're up against something. What are we up against? Oh yeah, the Republican. No. There's something else going on. You know, what on earth is happening.com. What on earth is happening.com website of Mark Passio. And the main thing, there's an evil, it's an evil. It takes the form of it influences us. Make bad guys badder. Bad guys using, or bad guys wanting to be badder, or something. As long as they get their BMW, hookers and green fees, they're good. And your rights be damned. So this is a search for truth. A lot of us were just like, man, there's something going on. There's something motivating. There's something tying them together. There's something making they, them, those. I go, they, who are they, Ernie, you conspiracist? And I'm going, look, man, there's those that just want to be left alone, and there are those that just won't leave you alone. Which one are you? So they go, well, who are they? I go, they, them, those, the ones who won't leave me alone. So I'm going, they're not leaving me. Why are they not leaving me alone? You know, what does it benefit them? How is it they're not to have a mutual, agreement with me? What is it? They're just parasites. It's easier to steal than I mean, crime doesn't pay. I don't know. Ask any politician. They'll tell you it does. Okay. So I wanted to have a long conversation, and I'll let them talk. I pinky swear. And that we'll go ahead and have Mark Passio introduce himself to us in the way that we do. My first memory at 3 years old was, literally. So we're going to go ahead and get to know Mark Passio because there's a front that needs to be